Welcome back to another Imagine That segment right here in our studios from Inside Out. I'm your host, Jay. Thank you guys so much for being here. I do very much appreciate it. And as you guys can see in the title description, we're going to be talking about a word that I don't think I've ever talked about before here on this podcast or anywhere else. And yes, as you guys can see, we're talking about the word obsession. And I believe there's a certain individual that suffers from this very thing. I got all the juicy details and plus a lot more, including some updates before this podcast is over and said and done right here. With that, let's get into it. Welcome back, everybody, to another segment right here in our studios from Inside Out. You're watching Imagine That, and there's a reason why I call it that. And you're going to see that here tonight, too, as well. But as you guys can see, I'm back in the hot seat. I'm glad to be back for you guys' information and whatnot. Before I get into the details of tonight's podcast, this is not my comeback video. No, that's not yet. That's not even happening yet. I will keep you guys updated on when that happens. But nonetheless, as you guys can see, I'm back on the mic, back in the hot seat, and I'm back in the saddle doing what I love doing most. And that is educating all of you about certain things that need to be obviously taught to all of you, because ignorance is bliss and it's thick out here more today than ever has been before. But I know that some of you probably are going to get in the chat or in the comment section and ask me, why am I doing a podcast under the topic obsession? Well, real quick, to give you guys some back contents real quick to let you know that I actually have a new boyfriend. Now, don't get me twisted. I'm not looking for a boyfriend, but evidently one has come my way here recently. I don't just call it a boyfriend. I also call it an OnlyFan, if you get my drift, and countless other things that I believe this individual has. And denial can be, as you know, the word bitch. Excuse my language, guys, but denial can be a bitch. And I believe he suffers from that too as well, including so many other things. But, like I said, this guy is obviously obsessed with me. And I proved it right here on my channel, including a lot of other places. How obsessed is he? Well, man, when I'm done with this podcast explaining all the details of the word obsession, it is so fitting, and you guys are definitely see what I'm talking about with proof in the pudding when it comes to this individual and all of the stuff he's done about little old me. And keep in mind, it don't take much to get him all pissed off over there in his neck of the woods. But anyways, with that, the word obsession is quite an amazing word, and a lot of people here in America actually do suffer from it. I'm going to be talking about obsession, which is basically OCD. But there's another one, too, that I believe he suffers from, too, as well. And it's called OLD. And you'll understand what I'm talking about with that a little bit later here in this podcast, too, as well. So, again, there's a lot to unpack here tonight. And, again, if you're asking questions, why is this guy so obsessed? Well, I want you guys to understand this. This individual found me. I didn't find him. Right? So keep that in mind as we go along here. He decided to make a buttload of videos and other content about me, including posts and God knows what all, over there on his platforms. But get this. If you think it ends with just videos or posts or something like that, no, this guy went as far, check this out, he went as far as writing a book about me too as well. But if you think it stopped there with his sickness that he has in his head, no. Get this. He actually sent me a copy of his book that he wrote about me. Sick and demented? Yeah, I'd say so, and that's an understatement. But I am flattered and kind of tickled pink all rolled into one that he thinks about me the way he does, and and, everything else I mentioned earlier in this podcast. Without going any further, let's go ahead and get into the word obsession, because I believe there are some people out there that don't even know that actually is a thing, and don't even know it's a mental condition, because it turns out it is. I think a lot of you already knew that. And I'm going to show you guys the proof on the screen like I always do here, and show you guys the facts, not just me verbalizing it. So let's go ahead and show you the first thing that I'm going to back up with my the word obsession. And then you're going to hear some information coming from an actual bona fide legit doctor who obviously is very highly educated under this topic and so forth. So we're going to be talking about that too as well, and showing you guys that. And you can hate on the messenger all you want, but like I said, facts are facts. Some things can't be digested very easily. So, it is what it is. But with that, let's go ahead and show you guys the first thing up on the screen about the word obsession. And here it is. As you guys can see on your screen, this is coming from Google, as you guys can see there. And you guys can see I typed in, check this out, is obsession a mental disorder? And according to this, it says, yes, it is. So absolutely. So let's go ahead and get into some of the facts here tonight with this word obsession. So as you guys can see on the screen, I asked, is obsession a mental disorder? The answer, yes. Obsession can be a symptom of a mental illness known as obsessive compulsive disorder, or better known as OCD. Do I believe this OnlyFan or my new boyfriend that I have over there has OCD? Yeah, I'd say so, and that would be considered an understatement, my own opinion. More on that later. Anyways, it says this, OCD is a chronic condition, absolutely, characterized by intrusive, unwanted thoughts. And we all know what kind of thoughts he has about little old me. Obsessions that cause significant distress and repetitive behaviors. Notice the word repetitive. That's another fancy word for, repeat, constantly doing it all over again. Or, just boom, boom, boom. Same video, same content. You get the drift. Okay, repetitive. He's constantly talking about me, constantly doing videos and posts. And again, for the record, if you're just now tuning in, went as far as writing a book about me. That's how obsessed this sick individual is. Anyways, moving down the line, it says this, compulsions amend at reducing the anxiety caused by the obsessions. So see, again, if he has certain obsessions, he needs to acknowledge it before it could even get fixed. He needs to come to terms with it. He needs to realize that he is absolutely 110% obsessed. And then he needs to go from there, such as finding professional help and whatnot. Moving down the line here, guys. Obsessions can include fear of contamination or germs. I know somebody like that. Unwanted sexual or violent thoughts. Some people have that. Need for order or symmetry and doubts about performing actions correctly. Yeah, so, like some people have certain amount of OCD when it comes to order. They have a certain way of doing things about their day. And obviously, just with his channel, you can see how he does things. More information. Compulsions can include excessive hand washing or cleaning. Now, I'm not saying that's what he has, because I don't see that part going on in his life. But nonetheless, he does have other issues, which I'm going to be reading off some more here tonight too as well, not just what you see on the screen. Just pay attention. Checking things repeatedly, which I believe he does. Example, locks or appliances. Yep, people have to make sure that the door is locked multiple times to feel safe and secure. Making sure your appliances are off so you don't burn down the house. Anyways, counting or arranging object in specific ways. I have certain people in my family that used to do that. Anyways, moving down the line, it says this. If obsessions and compulsions interfere with daily life, cause significant distress, which I believe he's under, or are uncontrollable, it is important to seek professional help from a mental health professional. Treatment for OCD typically involves therapy such as cognitive behavior therapy, or better known as CBT, and sometimes medication, which they can put you on if you can't control it without it. Again, there's proof of the pudding right there, guys, of what this means and all of that. Again, it's basically OCD, but there's one more thing too. On top of the OCD, I believe he suffers from massively, is another word too that I want you guys to pay attention to. And it's right here on my device. It says OLD. I believe he suffers from that. I also believe he suffers, well, I wouldn't say suffer, but I believe he has it. I believe he's jealous of me too as well. Massive jealousy of me. But what I'm talking about, OLD, if you don't know, stands for this: obsessive love disorder. I think he is absolutely, without question, madly in love with me. Absolutely, guys, without question. And again, you can go over to his channel and see for yourself. And as mentioned earlier, like I said, he wrote a book about me, and he sent me a copy. Yeah, I'd say he's madly in love with me. I think he's also jealous of me and a few other things. But anyways, obsessive love disorder, or better known as OLD, it does exist, according to this, is a condition that can be destructive to relationships and may lead to other mental health issues. Imagine that. So, as you guys can see, there are a laundry list of different things that I believe this individual suffers from when it comes to me, especially. But I don't want you guys to take my word for it. I did some research, and I wanted a leading expert or doctor, mental health advisor, or whatever you want to call these people. And they actually have what I've been saying here tonight, which is absolutely 100% true, in my personal opinion. Now, again, I'm asking you guys to do your own homework on this and figure it out yourself, but it's there. And these said individuals that have OCD, some of which I believe my boyfriend over there in the neck of the woods, if you get my drift, is in denial, and he has a pride issue beyond your imagination. That he can't admit to his issues or mental issues that he has. It's a given, though, that he has it. Whether he ever comes clean or admits it or not, to me, it's irrelevant. But the proof's on his channel and a few other places. And again, like I said, he went as far as sending me his own copy of his book that he wrote about me, which I have an update, speaking of which, a little bit later here in this podcast, so stick around for that. You don't want to miss my updates that I have before I bounce out of here. But with that, let's go ahead and not just hear this from me or have Google explain what obsessions are. I actually have a doctor who I found here online before I started this podcast that can give out more details about the word obsession and why this guy suffers from it, and why he chose to take his obsession out on me. Keep in mind, he found me. I didn't find him. All right? And that's what makes this whole thing awkward, right? I could see it if I went and found him first and started this whole goddamn charades. But unfortunately, he found me, for the record. All right? But with that, let's go ahead and get the share screen going here, because I got some stuff I want to share with you guys tonight pertaining this situation. I think it's important that you guys hear it from a actual professional besides just me. So here's that. Let's take a ride on the share screen, shall we? Let's go. All right, on your guys' screen, I hope you guys can see this. The web page, which I'm going to put this information or link in the description if I haven't already. It will be there. Hopefully, it will be there without any issues and whatnot. But anyways, it's called Mind Demand. This is a doctor that wrote this, and you'll see that here in just a second. I'll show you guys, the person's information, all that. But anyways, obsessive compulsive disorder, or better known as OCD. You guys can see it there. I highlighted it, and I hope you guys can see this. What is OCD? Pay attention to what I'm going to read to you guys, because again, I believe he suffers from this, including what I mentioned earlier. And we'll come back and hit on some points here. So just bear with me. Anyways, it says this on the first line, or sentence, I should say, excuse me. Obsessive compulsive disorder, or once again, for you people, better known as OCD, is a mental illness that causes repeated unwanted thoughts or sensations. I believe he has a lot of that. Or the urge to do something over and over again. That's the compulsion. Video after video after video, over and over and over again. That's what I believe he has. He has definitely OCD about me and a few other things. Anyways, moving on. Some people can have both obsessions and compulsions. Absolutely. And again, this information is coming from a doctor, not me. So take your hatred BS, if you have any, out on her. Don't take it out on me. Anyways, moving down the line here. So let me get this done and over with real quick. All right. OCD isn't about habits like biting your nails or thinking negative thoughts. Okay, according to the doctor. An obsessive thought might be the certain numbers or colors are good or bad. A compulsive habit might be to wash your hands 7 times after touching something. That's the germophobia problem. That could be dirty. Although you may not want to think or do these things, you feel powerless to stop. It's basically, in a nutshell, guys, it's a chemical imbalance. What's going on in your brain there? Everyone has habits, absolutely, or thoughts that repeat sometimes. Notice I said sometimes, or notice that she said sometimes. People with OCD have thoughts or actions that, and here's the list. Let me get this scrolled up here a little bit so you guys can see what I'm talking about. Number 1, take up at least an hour a day. Some people do that. All right. That's fair. I understand that. People are like that. Number 2, are beyond your control. I believe he has that because he can't control me. He can't. He tries to, but it is what it is. Number 3, aren't enjoyable. Now, again, this one can be debatable. I don't know if he enjoys doing what he does, but I could care less whether he does or doesn't. Number 4, interfere with work, your social life, or other part of life. Well, if he's got a lot of time and whatnot to talk about me and make multiple videos and whatnot about me, then I don't think he has a life, period. No, I don't think he does. But I'll leave that up to you guys' decision on that. Real quick, what are OCD symptoms? Pay attention to this, because I believe, again, the proof's in the pudding. I believe he has these issues. Okay, let's get this out of the way first. OCD comes in many forms, but most cases fall into at least one of 4 general categories. Pay attention to this, ladies and gentlemen. Number 1, checking such as locks, alarm systems, ovens, or light switches, or think you have medical condition like pregnancy or schizophrenia. Those are issues. That's a form of OCD. Again, I'm not harping on anybody that if you have these problems. I'm not belittling anybody, and I'm not making fun of somebody that has this. I'm merely explaining what I believe, without questioning, this individual of mine suffers from. It's apparent. All right. Next one, number 2. Oops. Let me do that again. Contamination, a fear of things that might be dirty or compulsive to clean. Mental contamination involves feeling like you've been treated like dirt. I like the way that kind of spun off there. Really neat. But anyways, that was number 2. Here's number 3. I think that word is symmetry and ordering. The need to have things lined up in a certain way. Yeah. I totally understand what that is. Now, again, I can't say if he has that part of it, but nonetheless, we're getting close. Number 4 of the list. God dang it. I apologize, guys. This thing is very sensitive. I'm trying to do this lickety split. There we go. Anyways, ruminations and intrusive thoughts, an obsession with a line of thought. Some of these thoughts might be violent or disturbing, which he's proven that too as well with his videos and his content, which have been saved for me in my files. Not going to mention what those are here. Anyways, with that, there's more. I hope you guys appreciate all this information, and you'll see who this information is coming from here in just a second. And if you live in the area where this is at, you can go and make an appointment to go see this person if they're still in business. Anyways, many people who have OCD know that their thoughts and habits don't make sense. They don't do them because they enjoy them, but because they can't quit. Sound familiar? This guy obviously cannot quit. And if they stop, they feel so bad that they start again. That's fitting. That sounds like my boyfriend over there. Moving down the list, guys. Obsessive thoughts can include, check this out, number 1, worries about yourself or other people getting hurt. Yeah, I know that. Number 2, constant awareness of blinking, breathing, or other body sensations. I think he has some of this too, because the way he says his name out of his mouth, or my name out of his mouth, the way he says it with his, well, I'll come back to the studio and explain what I'm talking about with that. But yeah, he has a certain way of saying my full name. It's so cringy. But anyways, moving down the list, more on that here in just a second. With that, a suspicion that a partner is unfaithful with no reason to believe it. Interesting. I wonder if he feels like that with me, being that he's my, he's considered my boyfriend now. Anyways, compulsive habits can include, here's a list of that. Doing tasks in specific order every time or certain good number of times, meaning over and over and over. Certain things he does, like making videos about me over and over and over. Doesn't stop. Number 2, needing to count things like steps or bottles. Now, again, I can't say that he has that issue. He doesn't show a lot of his stuff online, but what he does behind closed doors, only God knows. Last but not least, ladies and gentlemen, fear of touching doorknobs, using public toilets, or shaking hands. Very interesting indeed. All right. Again, you guys can email the person that put this on right there, down there. Email support at Dr. Shikaka. I don't know that word. I hope I didn't beat it up, but I do apologize on that. There it is. Anyways, there it is on the screen. Doctor, again, for the record, if I can even do this. Nope, I can't. It won't let me. But anyways, this person is an MD, PhD, PA. All right, and their address is 601 White Hills Drive, Suite 100, Rockwell, Texas. There's the address for your guys' information. Again, phone number is here too as well if you want to give them a call. Nonetheless, guys, it's coming from doctor. It didn't come from me. I hope you guys appreciate it nonetheless. Again, Mind Demand is the site. I will put this link in the description. If you guys want to see more of this, again, you can email her and all that fun jazz in your own leisure time if you think you suffer dramatically from OCD or any other kind of obsessions. Let's come back to the studio. With that being said, I hope you guys appreciate what I've showed you guys so far tonight. Again, this is obviously a pre-recorded event. I will be live again right here in our studios with all individuals involved a little bit later down the road. I haven't scheduled it in yet. I don't even know myself when my next live is going to be. But as of right now, I do plan on doing a comeback video. This isn't it, but I do plan on coming back. As you guys can see, I'm back in the saddle, back on the mic. And I'm going to be doing what I do best, which is obviously educating the masses when it comes to our system, the corruption, our prisons, jails, you name it. We will be talking about it here from Inside Out. With that, I got some updates before I bounce out of here. I do apologize for making this a short video, but I believe it was very educational in some form or another. And I believe it proves a point that a certain individual that has discovered me can't stop talking about me. Everything that's being talked about here tonight fits him to the T. Absolutely. I truly believe he suffers from OCD and countless other things. And, like I said, there is professional help out there if he can sink down his pride and go get it. Nonetheless, I can't tell him what to do, but obviously he clearly suffers from these issues, and his YouTube channel shows that. But here's your guys' updates. I want to let you guys know that I don't need to apologize to you guys. I don't feel I need to apologize to you guys. And here's why. Number one, as you guys know, here recently, I would say, a month ago now, it's been maybe a little bit less than a month ago, I went ahead and put my whole entire channel that you see here in private. And there was a reason behind that. I did that to take a break from all the I would consider harassment, mental abuse, threats, and stuff of that nature. I believe myself and my family's safety is more important than this podcast and all of this online activity. So with that being said, I decided to put my channel in private and stay away from the BS for a while. Because again, like I said, this guy was relentless. I believe he's still relentless, even though it's kind of calmed down a little bit. He still talks about me. That's the obsession that he has about me. And it's very concerning. So, due to all of his recent shenanigans and BS and other negative shit he's done over on his channel and other places, I went dark. And I had every right to do so. With that, as you guys can see, I'm back. And I'm going to be coming back even stronger and better than I was before. I do have a lot of updates that I'm not going to explain all of them here tonight because, like a lot of you out there, I don't want to spoil it if I turn out being wrong on some of these updates. So I'm only going to be brief on some of my updates. The first update I want to share with all of you, if you're concerning and wondering what's going on with this channel, number one, the team that I have working for me here from Inside Out still is here. I've had a numerous amount of people, getting a hold of me through emails, phone calls, you name it. One of which is a solid follower / fan of this podcast. I'm going to mention her name. Her name is Rose. If she is watching or she comes across this later down the road, I want to give a major shout out to my friend Rose, who lives in Australia, I believe, of all places. So clear over there, my network has reached her and whoever else she shared it with over there. And I want to say this personally from me, even though I can't contact her like on a phone or something, because we have attempted to do that and didn't work. So I do contact her through emails, but eventually I like to meet her in person. I'd like to talk to her on the phone if we can make arrangements on that. But nonetheless, I want to say this to Rose. of all people, and say thank you for your very highly loved and respectful email that you sent to me a while back. I had no clue. And it's such an honor. And I don't even have the right words to be explaining this to you, but I want to say that I'm absolutely, I hope flattered is the word, but nonetheless, I know I'm not using the right words, but I had no idea that my podcast kept you from, ending your description to breathing, if you get my drift. I had no idea. And if my podcast did that, what an honor. I mean, I'm glad that somewhere in this podcast, I stopped you from doing that and gave you hope, because that is just awesome. And man, Rose, I got nothing but utmost love and respect for you over there in your neck of the woods. I hope you stay continued following me and stay in contact with me. That is absolutely awesome of what you wrote me. I kept that email. I even starred it and saved it and put it in my I think it's in one of my save folders. But nonetheless, God bless you, Rose. Thank you so much for being a solid follower here and showing your love and respect towards me, because I'm going to give it right back. And again, like I said, hopefully one day I get to meet you. So thank you for being here. Another shout out real quick is to my beautiful wife, if she's watching this too as well. I should have made this the first priority, but I got mixed up. I'm just going by my notes here. But anyways, with that, I want to give a shout out to my wife for sticking through this mess and being probably one of the biggest supporters for me in this podcast and everything I've been through and whatnot. You are a godsend. You are my rock. You are my, you're just everything from a positive note. Can't find the words. I'm not very good with that type of, speech, but nonetheless, I want to let you know that you are respected on that. And thank you for being there through all of this mess from the way beginning to all the way now. And thank you for showing your support. Much love and respect to you too, my dear. I appreciate that. Another person I want to give a shout out to is my co-host, Tammy, who you've seen up on this show. Tammy, if you're watching and if you come across this too, thank you so much for giving me the speech that I need to hear, not just from everybody else, but you've given me the fair share of speech and giving me inspiration and energy to keep going. And since our recent talk or conversation, you are also the other individual who has helped me keep this podcast alive and who helped me come out of my retirement. So again, with that, thank you so much, Tammy, for all of your love and respect that you've shown me over the last, what has it been now? 1 year or more? Anyways, long enough that you've been here, and I got nothing but mad love and respect for you. I hope to see you in my comeback video up here on the live, helping out with the show. And thank you for talking me out of my retirement. I appreciate you more than you know. Thank you. Also, another shout out is to my friend Ahmad Blakemore. If he's watching this, which I hope he does, and he comes across this shout out, I want to say to you, brother, thank you so much for your help and inspiration to, keep me out of, get me out of retirement, I should say, excuse me, and your words of encouragement. Without you and your support with me in this channel, and you showing your support, not just with the channel, just with me as a whole and all the private conversations we've been having, I consider you a brother and, in a sense, family. So thank you so much for showing that. And hopefully this summer, or maybe during the springtime or whatnot, hopefully I get to meet you in person too as well. Now, I know I'm missing a few people, but nonetheless, you know who you are. Thank you guys so much for being here and showing your guys' continued support. Everybody that's reached out to me to kind of give me their encouragement to come out of my retirement, I really appreciate every single one of you guys for doing that. And because of that, and all of you, here I am. I am back in the saddle. I am done with my long-ass break, which I needed it. And I'm back into the swing of things, back in the saddle, and back on the mic. And you get to see my face now from this point forward on, whether you like it or you don't like it. So it is what it is. All right. With that, one more thing before I go. First things first, for the record, Due to all of the shenanigans of my new boyfriend, as you guys know that I have over there, thanks to his shenanigans, all his energy level, all of his attention, and God knows what all you want to add to the mix that he's shown over there on his platforms, due to his book that he put out and released, believe it or not, he also gave me some major amount of inspiration to write my own book. Yep, that's the other update that I want to share with all of you here tonight. I don't have a title name of my book yet. I do not have an idea when this is going to be completed or any of that. But I can guarantee you when I say I'm going to do something, I usually do it. It may take me a while, but nonetheless, I will get into it. I will start it. The only difference here between his book that he wrote about me and my book, it's not going to be in the fiction section. Yeah, absolutely not. Again, my book is not going to be in the fiction center or this fiction things of all the books that are out there. And it's not going to be AI generated either. Absolutely not. So I don't have to use AI to write a book about me. That's the difference that's going to set his book and my book apart. Some more details for you real quick. The content of this book is going to be basically about me and my whole entire life, including my childhood, all the way from, basically when I was a little shit, all the way up to now. Something that he can't speak about, something that AI will never be able to speak about, and so forth and yada yada. So I believe, without question, thanks to him and all his BS that he's caused over there on his channel, I'm going to write a book about me. The only difference is mine's going to be truthful. It's not going to be a fiction novel. It's going to be a truth novel. And the facts are all going to be in there, some of which he can't get from public records request or from AI itself. So if you're looking for a book with truth and all of that, when it comes to the book itself as a whole, then by God, when it's all said and done, you can purchase my book and can get better idea or better understanding what happened with little old me. And I believe, without question, it will be probably a number one seller because people like truth, not too much fiction. Even though I'm not saying fiction doesn't sell, it is what it is. But like I said, he's got his book and all of the BS that's in it. Then you're going to have my book, which is going to be a lot more details that he can't get by himself or through AI. And I'm sorry, if you got to have a book that's written by AI, I won't be spending money on buying a book that's been generated by AI because if you didn't write it your own self and take the time and energy to do so, I'm not interested. And that's the difference that's going to set this whole thing apart from him to me. I'm going to keep it real on my side of the fence, and he's going to keep it AI generated on his. Your call. But nonetheless, it's out there. But anyways, with that, a lot more things are coming down the pike. Got some updated news, if you will, when it comes to my locked up loved one. Things have changed. Some good news. And now I have the green light to do a story on what happened to my locked up loved one in more details. And you'll get to hear it from the horse's mouth right here on this channel. So stick around for that. I don't have a date and time when that's going to be taking place, but things are in the works. And there are some good news scenarios happening within me, my family, this podcast, my locked up loved one, and so forth and yada yada. A lot has changed since the last time you saw me. And I can't wait to share it with all of you here tonight. With that, thank you guys so much for being here. I will see you guys on the next one. Again, look out for my comeback video. Look out for my book when I get it completed, but it's not out yet. But I will update you when it is and show you where you can purchase it if you're interested and go from there. All right. Like I said, a lot of interesting things have developed since my absence. But nonetheless, I'm glad to be back in the hot seat. With that said, I'm your host, Jay. This has been another segment of Imagine That. I'll catch you guys on the flip side on the next one. Good night, everybody. Take care.